Now we're in mid-January, and I'm sure a lot of people are still clinging to those New Year's resolutions, and I imagine some of you said that you wanted to eat more vegetables, be healthier, maybe even vegetarian or vegan, but you might not know where to begin, or you might be hitting a little plateau, so we're going to share some tips along with a delicious recipe. We have Mary Lauren. She's the owner and the executive chef, wellonwheels.com, a book, all of that jazz. Be on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard is it to go vegan?
Well, I'm not going to give a number because it all depends. You know, it was really difficult for me to make the transition, but I did it all at once. After that, it became easy. I've been vegan for 18 years. I don't even think about it.
And once you're in it, I imagine 18 years, it's a piece of cake.
Definitely.
But that initial transition, is it difficult to be inventive, be creative, and to get all your nutrients?
It really is kind of like an experiment, but I like to think of it in a positive way, an adventure to find out about new foods, and I can help people with that. I like to tell people, you know, go with your taste. Try to look at the foods that you enjoy eating and then just veganize them.
And when you're doing this, and really any sort of mindful eating, you're thinking about the food that's going into your body. And if you do that and you make appropriate decisions, you don't need to diet. That's going to make you feel better.
Right. I don't think of it as a diet. It's more like trying to eat healthy, and you're thinking about the animals, the planet, and really it's not just about yourself, but the overall feeling of healthiness.
A lot of people, and I think that the detractors are the people who are nervous about it, they'll say it's hard to get things like all of your nutrients or all of your protein. What are some good protein sources if you're vegan?
Yeah, it's really easy. All plant-based foods have protein, but the foods that tend to be higher are beans, legumes, nuts, seeds. Even greens are high in protein, believe it or not.
Now we have some tips if people are thinking about it, a vegetarian lifestyle, a vegan lifestyle, and for people out there who don't know, what is the difference? Where do those vary?
So vegan is all plant-based. Vegetarian would include eggs and dairy. So think about that as just vegan is no animal products whatsoever.
Well, that's easy if you have that. Now we have tips for going vegan. The first one is to set specific goals. Tell us about that.
Yeah, sometimes it helps to have small goals. If, again, I went vegan overnight, but sometimes people do it gradually, like Meatless Monday. They start one day a week, or maybe they have one, you know, the vegan before 6, so their meals are all vegan until the dinner time. So
Very
that could be a goal. And then you just gradually might think another short-term goal will be incorporating one new recipe a week. So try, you know, cookbooks, go to restaurants, experiment with new foods, and just do small things like that, and then eventually, you know, it's really easy.
And since the new year, we've been talking about resolutions and all that jazz, and so many of experts who've come on the show say don't do it all at once, because you did it overnight. Congratulations for you. For me, and I imagine for a lot of people out there, borderline impossible.
It is a challenge, and again, everybody's different, and you know, you just have to do what works best for you, and then always think of that long-term goal of why you're doing it, the health of yourself, the animals, and the planet.
Now, we talked a little bit about mindfulness earlier, but it really is important, and it's a benefit almost of going vegan. You have to be very mindful of what you're eating.
Yes, definitely. Planning ahead really helps. If I know I'm going somewhere and I can't guarantee there's going to be vegan food, I always have snacks with me. Snacks are indispensable.
And who doesn't love snacks anyways?
Healthy snacks like dried figs, nuts, you know, dates, things like that.
See, there's another benefit of vegan, more snacking.
Oh, yeah.
You can also discover new foods and new restaurants this way, and everyone's always looking for a good new restaurant.
Definitely. I like ethnic restaurants, Indian, Thai, Japanese. All of those tend to have, the Ethiopian really is high in vegan food. So it's pretty easy these days.
Another great way to go about it is to find a buddy too. Anything that you do with an accountability buddy makes life a little easier.
Yes, and there's many groups. When I first started the Northern Connecticut Vegetarian Society, which meets once a month, that really helped because they have monthly potlucks. So you can do that.
Cool. And you always
meetups,
new recipes.
Yeah, meetup groups, even online communities. If you don't have anyone, you know, face to face, you can definitely connect with people online.
And I think lastly, it doesn't matter if you eat meat 20 meals a week, or if you're a strict vegan, you have to enjoy what you're eating.
Yes, and it's really easy. Again, it's all about flavor and foods that go together that you really enjoy, and that's what makes it so much, again, more easy.
And I think that, you know, at the end of the day, too, people are a little more mindful of what they're eating. If they take a little bit of pride in it, boy, the opportunities are endless.
Definitely, definitely, and you know, experimenting is always fun too.
Now, we have a great recipe on tap today, and it just tastes good. It doesn't matter what the classification is of it. It's fantastic. What are we making?
Right, so we're making a Tuscan white bean and garlic green soup. This is something that it's, you know, think about soup. It's perfect this time of year. It's a traditional food, and it happens to be vegan. So yeah, that's why I like making this recipe.
Well, we're going to let you get started on it just a bit, and then we're going to check in with you later in the show. How does that sound,
Okay,
Mary?
perfect.
Thank you so much. And all these foods, oh, they look good. They look vibrant. I can't wait to dig in. Welcome back to Mass Appeal, and we are back with Mary Lauren. She's the owner and she's the executive chef at mealsonwheels.com, also a cookbook author, a Renaissance lady, really. And we are making a vegan soup. What's the name of that soup?
Yes, it's the Tuscan white bean and garlic green soup.
That sounds so good. It sounds like the perfect winter food, too.
It is. It's perfect anytime, especially losing weight. I always think salads, soups, and smoothies. You know, get a lot of nutrition in and a lot of fiber.
That's a great tip. The three S's. I like that.
Exactly.
We're starting over here. You're sauteing up some garlic, or not garlic.
We have some onion and carrot that I've been sauteing in olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. And speaking of garlic, I'm going to add a couple of cloves of garlic in here.
That's a nifty tool you've got there.
This is my favorite gadget. It's a garlic press, and I just really love it.
Wait a minute. You're putting in those cloves. You haven't broken them down.
No, and this is. See, I can't promote it on TV, but this is my favorite garlic press. Yeah, you don't have to peel it. You just
pop
it right in there.
Toy?
Yeah, so a couple of cloves of garlic in there. So you want to just let that saute.
Okay.
Then what we do is I have some red potatoes that I've cut up, and these just go in as well.
Are they raw or have you blanched them?
These I've blanched just for the purpose of cooking quickly, but you can put them in raw, and the recipe that you have online is for the raw potatoes.
Okay.
Then I have some white beans. These are just organic cannellini beans.
Would you say whenever possible go organic?
Oh, definitely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So those have been drained and rinsed. So if you want to just toss those in there
I would
as well.
love to. All right, here we are.
Okay. So we're just going to stir that around. Then for seasoning, we have some dried basil and dried oregano. You want to just pop that in?
The whole thing?
Yep.
Sometimes I get into trouble because I'm not supposed to put the whole thing in.
All of it, yeah. We've got about a teaspoon.
Okay.
And then I'm using some fire-roasted tomatoes. This is just crushed tomatoes, a 15-ounce can goes in there. Adds some lovely flavor as well. And then we have 6 cups of water. So if you want to just pour those in there, we've got them measured out.
Now, do you use, when you're making soups like these, do you use any stock, or are your ingredients enough so that you don't need the stock?
This is going to be enough flavor. We'll add some salt to it to get some, to boost those flavors as well. So what you'd want to do then, this is everything as far as the base of the soup. So we just bring that up to a boil, turn up the heat.
That's so easy.
And let that cook for about 15 or 20 minutes. Once that's cooked, then what we do is the topping. We've got a pan heating, so I'll just grab some olive oil.
Okay.
So I've toasted some pine nuts, and what I'm also going to do is some more garlic. We're going to do a little bit of garlic. Oh, sure.
This is going to make my day.
There you go.
It's the only reason I ask.
Take that off the heat.
Here we are.
Careful, we've got a hot pan there.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey, don't try this at home. A little of that.
There we go.
It's a day maker right there.
Yeah. So we've got some garlic, and we'll toss in some
kale?
This is kale that I've already blanched and chopped.
Now, could you do raw kale, or should you blanch and chop?
Oh, yeah. So this, again, I made it quick for TV, but you could toss the raw kale in here.
Raw kale, I always try to make like kale chips or things like that. It's so temperamental for me, though. I can never get it to the appropriate crispness level.
Well, it's a matter of cooking it long enough or at the right heat.
Okay. What about baking? Can you get it to there?
You can bake kale and do kale chips. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So I'm just going to add a little salt to this and get that sauteed.
And what a low-calorie recipe this is, too.
Yeah, definitely. You can do it as is. I'm going to dress things up a little bit. So, so we've got our nice sauteed kale there. That's going to go on top. And then we have a finished soup. So I'll just bring this over here, and we'll ladle some out, get some room. And then we have our pine nuts, which I'll toss back in here.
And now, had you not toasted them before, could you throw them in there real quick just to get a little bit of a
Totally,
sear on
yeah,
them?
yeah. So the toasting in a dry pan is really the easiest way to do toasting pine nuts. And then we'll ladle out some soup.
Well, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So the
You're
vegan
welcome.
lifestyle, you have all these tips that we talked about earlier on the show, too, that you gave us. I really appreciate that.
Yes.
Oh, and that
Get
topping.
some of that kale on top. And then also, for a boost of flavor and a little bit of extra color, I have some parsley pesto. Just drizzle that on top. That's some raw parsley, raw garlic.
You're going the extra mile.
Boost the flavors. Yeah.
Mary, thank you so much. Well on Wheels. I appreciate having you here. This is great. Come
You're
back
welcome.
sometime.
Thank you.
If you want a copy of this recipe and more, also the tips, the vegan tips that we talked about earlier, just go to mymassappeal.com and